Hello guys and welcome to Tech Anorak. Today I need your help. I can't make my mind up on what my next phone's going to be. So my current phone, as you probably all know if you watch the channel, is the Google Pixel 4a, which is a great phone, but I want something bigger and I need something with more cameras that does 4K, and any extra features would be really nice. So I'm in two minds whether to get a contract, a 2-year deal, and pay monthly, or whether I should just buy one outright. So my first phone I'm going to compare is the 4A 5G. So obviously the software experience is going to be the same. I'm not going to go too deep into the specs, guys, but we'll look at the differences between the two. And I think you can do that here on GSM Arena. So obviously the 4A 5G is bigger. It's got a 6.2 inch screen, and the 4A is a 5.81 inch screen, both full HD plus. So because the 4A 5G is bigger, it's going to be, the PPI is going to be a bit less. Then a bit of a jump up in processor, so you're getting the 765G, and it's 7nm chip rather than 8nm. And if you look there, all the octa-cores are faster, and it's got the Adreno 620, so it's going to be better at gaming. Here's my big one, guys, because I want to use this for YouTube. It does 4K 60. So, I mean, 4K 30 is absolutely fine for YouTube, to be honest, but I'd like a camera that does 60 as well for when I film outside. Also, it's got the ultra-wide lens, which the 4.8 doesn't. Same selfie camera. Both got stereo speakers. I would have thought the 4A 5G is louder. Bigger battery by about 600-700 milliamp hours. Same rate of charge. And at the moment, it's $299 for the 4A. I don't know why it says $339 there. But the 4A 5G, you can get it for about $399 if I bought it outright. I could get it on a contract, but do I want a 2-year contract for, it's supposed to be about £25, $25 a month, so maybe an option. And then another one I keep considering, so if I buy it outright, is a Poco F3. So this is a lot of phone for the money. For $329, you're getting, again, an AMOLED screen, same capacity, 128 gig storage, 6 gig of RAM. You're not going to get the same software experience as Google, as Pixels. I believe it does have a few little quirks to it, the software in MIUI 12, but it's not as bad as people think as well from the reviews I've watched. So you plus points here, it's got Gorilla Glass 5 to the Pixel 4's only got Gorilla Glass 3, and it's IP53 dust and splash protection. So it's not waterproof, but at least it does have some sort of, membrane or some sort of protection against water and dust. So they're both AMOLED screens. This is where it beats the Pixel, so it's got 120 Hz refresh rate. It's only 60 Hz, the 4A, so it's going to be a lot smoother when you're scrolling. A lot nicer in games, I would imagine, as well. You're going to get, I think some of the games do go up to 120 Hz, or at least 90 Hz. So you're going to see it smoother gameplay in PUBG and Call of Duty Mobile. It's a full HD plus panel as well, but it's 6.67 inches, so it's nearly an inch bigger than the 4A, and it's got Gorilla Glass 5. So again, 4A's only got Gorilla Glass 3. It doesn't say whether it's got an always-on display, but the it's an AMOLED panel, so I would have thought it does. So here's another big factor for the money, guys, again. So you're getting the 870 5G Snapdragon chip, which is an overclocked 865G. So in English, that means last year's flagship specs. So that's like the same as, well, better than a Note 10 Plus. It's the chip up, and it's a phone that can do 3.2 gigahertz, the processor. So phones now with the 888 as well, we're getting to like PC performance. It's getting there. And if you look at all the cores again, they're all faster, and it's got an Adreno 650 GPU, so big jump up. Also, it's got faster storage, so UFS 3.1, so it's going to be quicker when doing everything, when saving apps, when video editing. It's just going to be quicker in general in terms of storage. The camera's not going to be as good, although it's a 48 megapixel lens, the main one, and it's got an ultra wide and a macro. It's not going to beat the Pixel, but it does do 4K 30, so that's still good for a phone that costs under £400 or $400. And the front-facing camera, yeah, it's 20 megapixels, so maybe clearer than the Pixel. The Pixel software probably makes up for that. But yeah, it does the same, 1080p, 30 frames a second. Doesn't have a headphone jack, but I'm not too bothered. I've got Bluetooth speakers, to be honest. And the stereo speakers are supposed to be very loud and good quality on this phone. So again, good one to consider. And this is a massive one for me. So the battery is nearly 1400, well, it's 1400 milliamps bigger. And the fast charge, 33 watt, it charges a lot quicker. So 100% in 52 minutes. The 4A is 100% in about 2 hours. So, it's an hour quicker. And the endurance rating is 114 hours, the battery, whereas the 4A is only 76 hours. Okay, and then the other phone that I'm interested in, guys, I'm only going to do 2 today, but just a total curveball. I can't afford my foldable phone yet, but I might just be able to afford this on a contract. I'd probably have to pay a bit up front. I want a contract that's under $40 a month or £40 a month over 2 years. But yeah, this is the camera phone at the moment, and it's a beast of a phone. So it doesn't say it does say the price here, so it's saying $1,000 for the base model. Yeah, I've seen that on the Samsung website. It probably is around that, but I wouldn't buy it outright. I wouldn't be able to afford that outlay. I would just, as I say, get it on a contract in the UK with a data and call plan. So the screen is going to wipe the floor with it, with the 4A. It's a 6.8 inch QHD panel, and again 120 hertz refresh rate, 1500 nits peak brightness, so that's like having a torch in your pocket. It's going to be so light. And 515 ppi, so although it's a full inch bigger than the 4A, the screen, because it's QHD, it's going to have better ppi, better resolution. It's the new Corning Gorilla Glass Victus, which is Gorilla Glass 6 really, but they've given it the Victus name, and it's supposed to be very strong. So again, that's going to really beat the Gorilla Glass 3 on the 4A. And this is where it gets, yeah, no contest at all. But obviously, the 4A is a £300 phone. This is a $1,000 to $1,300 or pound phone. So you've got the in the UK, you'd get the Exynos 2100 5nm chip, and again that's 2.9 gigahertz main processor. All the other cores are really fast. Looking at it there, the Snapdragon 888 in USA and China, as it says. The very comparable in years gone by. The Snapdragon variant of the Samsungs was always supposed to be the better chip, but this year the Exynos is supposed to be as good and beats some of the Snapdragons. I've watched a few reviews, and it seems that each phone, each Snapdragon, they don't have the exact performance. They all have slightly different variations, but yeah, the Exynos beats the Snapdragon in most tests, which is really interesting for me. And it's got a Mali G78 GPU in the UK and international, which is supposed to be comparable again to the Adreno 660 that you get in the Snapdragon. So lots of storage options here as well on the S21. I'd say if I could stretch to 256 gig, because the 128 gig I've had on the 4A, it's not been enough really, and it's got the quicker UFS 3.1. And there's not many phones that can beat the 4A camera wise, but this again wipes the floor with it. It's got 108 megapixel main lens, 10 megapixel periscope telephoto, another 10 megapixel telephoto. The top one does 10 times optical zoom, and an ultra wide that does 12 megapixel. I believe the optical stabilization, it's not software, it's actual optical stabilization on that periscope telephoto. That is supposed to be amazing. It's like having a DSLR, and and then it does 8K. I don't think I would record in 8K, but I might do some 8K footage just for a trial. But I haven't got an 8K screen yet, so I wouldn't be able to watch it back. It does 4K 30, 4K 60, which is what I needed, as I say. 40 megapixel selfie camera. That's very interesting, right? So it does 4K 60 on the selfie camera, which is good for vlogging and YouTube making in general. So that's really cool. The speakers, the stereo speakers, tuned by AKG, and it looks like it's got 32-bit DAC in there as well. Whereas the 4A's DAC, it's not very good. It's I've done some tests on that for one of my viewers, and the output's not very good on headphones. But although the S21 Ultra doesn't have a headphone jack, so that might be a deal breaker for some. But like I say, Bluetooth headphones, I think that's the way forward at the moment for me. And it's a 5G phone, as was the F3, so that it beats the 4A on that. And it's USB 3.2, so again, you're going to get faster transfer rates. Fingerprint scanner on the 4A, I really like the one on the back, it's very accurate, but I believe this one is the new generation of under-display, as it says, ultrasonic fingerprint sensors, and it's very reliable and responsive. Does Samsung DeX as well, which is cool, and wireless DeX, I believe, as well. It's got a much bigger battery, 5,000 milliamp hours, so nearly 2,000 milliamp hours bigger, and it fast charges at 25 watt, and it's also got wireless charging, and the endurance rating is 114 hours, so the 4A is 76 hours. Alright guys, so yeah, just a quick video today. Like I say, I just want your input on what phone I should get next. It doesn't have to be the phones I've showed you, these are the ones that interest me, but you can make any suggestions you want. I'd like to have a good chat in the comments as well. Let's get into a bit of a debate about phones. So hit me up in the comments as always, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.